Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about Sunday's episode of Sister Wives. It was a tough one to watch. I actually watched it through twice. The second time, I caught things that I didn't catch the first time, and the conversation between Gabe and Cody just really has a lot of viewers emotionally charged. And then, of course, we find out that after Janelle's mother passed away, Cody decides that that's okay to go to the funeral. Christmas was a maybe. If anybody tested positive, they weren't going to be having Christmas, but they all got together. Then on the next time on, we see Robyn sheepishly in an interview state that her child care provider and her child care provider's husband has tested positive for COVID.
Next time on Sister Wives.
I got a call from my child care provider. She said that her husband and her were testing positive for COVID.
Well. How the turntables.
Now, ain't that some karmic shit? I am definitely not happy. I wouldn't wish COVID on my worst enemy. I'm never gleeful or joyful when someone receives a positive diagnosis. It's a terrible pandemic that we're all trying to live through. And I think most of us are trying to do the right thing generally. The struggle is real out there. And I think that that's proven that if this nanny was truly abiding by all of these rules, that it just goes to show you could be doing everything right and you can still catch it. And it's just about what are your priorities in life when faced with possibly contracting this disease. Where are your priorities? Is it family? Or is it yourself? Is it your narcissism? All of the kids, except for Robyn's kids, have gone 8 or 9 months without seeing Cody. Cody's not coming around to any of the family members. But we know that Robyn's family has been over at their house, and this nanny and this nanny's husband. I think if Cody truly consulted his physician, because in the early days of the pandemic, everybody was told the conventional wisdom is to keep your circle small. Decide who you're gonna who your pod was, keep it as small as possible, and just see those people. So on the one hand, I get what Cody was trying to do by going house to house, but his own actions in the home he was spending his primary time at was not following what any person would be advised to do, which is not have a bunch of family over, to not have people that are unnecessary coming in and out of your home with 3 teenage to adult age children living at home, being compliant, as Cody says, with a stay-at-home mom and a stay-at-home dad. It truly is a wonder as to what was needed as far as childcare. And it's just that there's no fast and hard rules with Cody. We see that he decides that it's okay to throw all of his rules out the window to attend Janelle's mother's funeral. Again, I think that there are ways that you could have had, people had funerals during COVID and people did them in the safest way possible. So again, not judging Cody for going to the funeral, but the fact that he decided that this was okay, but Isabel's surgery was not. Robyn's family, the nanny, those people are okay. The rest of his children and wives are not. Is just his rules, and the way he adheres to these rules just don't make any sense. And I think that is what Gabriel and Garrison have clearly seen. And Christine even says in this episode that the kids are sick of how apparent it is that he has favorites. Parents, I'm sure, with multiple children, I only have one child, so I can't speak to this, but I have a brother. My parents worked really hard to never make it clear that there were favorites. And I think in general, parents of multiple children work hard so that their kids feel equally loved. It's really heartbreaking that it is very clear who's in and who's out with Kody. Another thing that I found really concerning and just odd is that Robyn, first of all, when Kody gets back from the funeral and he goes back to Robyn's house, the kids welcome him home like he had been off at war for years. Like they hadn't seen him in eons. And it was 10 days. It was 10 days. Robyn says that Ari couldn't even get through 2 days without seeing her dad. Well, if Robyn wanted plural marriage, didn't sign up for monogamy, that means that your kids, if you're living in separate households, see their dad a fraction of the time if he's splitting his time equally. So which is it, Robyn? You need Kody home like he's your only husband, or you want plural marriage? Additionally, if you see how devastated your kids are going a significant portion of time without seeing their dad, why are you not considering that his other children would also be feeling the same way and actively trying to get Kody to be a present father in their lives? I mean, if he is out on the marriages, then he's out on the marriages, but you can't be out on your kids. That's just fucked up. Kody also makes this extreme proclamation in this episode that he had to promise Robyn that he would be home for Christmas, that he would abide by whatever he had to do so that he could be home with Saul and Ari for Christmas. And he was saying while he was going to get tested that if he came back positive, he didn't think Robyn would ever forgive him. And it's like, this is so beyond a lot of people's control. Again, like I said, you can be doing everything right, wiping off your groceries, wiping off your mail, only going out for groceries, doing everything you can to stay home, and you can still be exposed, as we find out in this episode. So holding these people like they are just reckless seems kind of unfair to me, and it's really not clear. He's acting like Christine has just thrown caution to the wind, but from what Janelle has been saying is that they are abiding by the CDC guidelines, that Christine has echoed those same sentiments. It is a struggle for everybody to do the right thing, and I have to believe, I truly do believe, that Christine and Janelle are well-intentioned and are not trying to put anybody at risk on purpose. And we see that with Robyn, you can have all of these good intentions and it still happens. And I wouldn't think that it would be right for Kody to hate Robyn because Robyn brought this exposure into his home. And it'll be really interesting to see how he reacts to this news, because he said in an interview that he would hate whichever wife caused one of the kids to get sick, possibly die, and he would have to divorce them. He said that in an interview. I think we all feel this delicate balance, this struggle to stay safe, stay healthy, and continue to work, continue to get schooling if you're in school, continue to take care of and raise your children. It has been a struggle for everyone, and nobody has been exempt from feeling the weight of what all of this is, and nobody is navigating it 100% the right way. We are all messing up in some way. Someone could say, oh, you really shouldn't be doing that. Someone else could say, oh, you really shouldn't be doing that. And for me personally, I believe that in general, people are trying to just get by. They're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to stay safe, and they're trying to get by in their lives. That's what I truly believe. With Kody, obviously Kody has talked about trust. So like, he doesn't trust his family. He knows his family, they're still socializing, they're still going out and working, and Christine got a fucking massage. You know, there were businesses that permanently shut down, have not recovered from the pandemic. It's all just a really delicate struggle. Kody says his doctor, presumably because he consulted his doctor before this list, and this is what the nanny was doing, presumably, even though we've seen Kody and Robyn not abiding by these rules on camera. So we're to assume that Kody went to his doctor, discussed having an employee come into the home and an employee's husband. That's more people, that even with all things being perfect, you're following these rules perfectly, you are still upping the ante as far as risking exposure. You just are. So he okayed non-family members, and he okayed Robyn's family to come over. I don't know how many people that means was coming over, but it wasn't okay for him to go to Isabel's surgery, which Christine was being advised by Isabel's doctors. So it just makes no sense. Again, we know where Kody's priorities are. Gabe said in like the second episode that if someone got sick and it didn't change things, and it wasn't about COVID in the first place, and here we are. It really isn't about COVID at all. Again, I just think like watching that scene between Gabe and Kody, where Gabe is just begging for any morsel of forgiveness or acceptance from his father, was so heartbreaking to see. And you know, some people have said, you know, we didn't see the whole thing. It's obviously edited a type of way, but when Gabe is emotional, he's crying. His dad doesn't even go over there and give him a hug. And his dad is putting all of the blame. Like, Kody, these are your rules. This is your protocol for how you decided to handle this pandemic. And nobody in your family besides Robyn knew what to do for 8 months. The nanny knew. Robyn's family knew, but none of your kids knew what you wanted them to do. Everybody was confused. Everyone thought that you just wanted to spend all your time at Robyn's, which, let's be real, that really is what all of this is about. And as opposed to saying, hey, sorry for that breakdown of communication, let's try to like fix things going forward, it's, your mom's the Teflon queen. Your mom, like, I don't want to throw your mom under the bus, but blah, blah, blah. Like, what? Like, this is so, like, asinine. Anyways, you guys, I would be really interested to hear what you have to say down in the comments. The next episode is going to be a lot, because we're going to see how Kody reacts to the news that perfect favorite wife Robyn has brought the cursed corona upon the household. And you know, and I do think it's Robyn who is needing the childcare, because none of the other wives had nannies. Christine was the nanny. We saw that Gabe said like he's always going to choose Christine because Christine was the primary caregiver. So let me know what you think down in the comments. It's going to be so satisfying to see Kody go over to Christine's house and see all of his shit packed up in the garage. I really think that when he told Christine he didn't want an intimate marriage with her anymore, he thought that Christine would go the way Mary has gone and just begged for any morsel of affection from him. This is a huge slap to Kody's ego, and it's going to be very fascinating to watch to see how he reacts to this, because we know when Christine made that announcement on Instagram that she was leaving, Kody's statement was like, yeah, whatever, like, it's a bummer, like, I don't know. Anyways, you guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.